So, what is the most important subject in politics right now? Women reservation. Okay. So, that is the first one. So, the news is the government brought the constitution, that is 128th Amendment Bill 2023, to provide 33% reservation to women in Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. Okay. So, cabinet has already passed and now it has been introduced into the Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly. Okay. So, that is our first news. So, about the bill. So the bill says that accordingly, 1/3 of the reservation should be that of the women. Okay. So this 1/3 all includes the that of reservation, which is in the SC and ST category as well. Okay. So according to the bill, as nearly as maybe 1/3 of the total number of seats to be filled by direct election to the House of People shall be reserved for the women. What do you mean by direct election? Voters directly vote for their representatives. That is the election which takes place in the case of Lok Sabha, state legislative assemblies, etc. What is indirect election? Okay, in which voters do not directly participate, but representatives of the people participate in the election. Okay. So the bill proposes a similar provision for assemblies as well. Now, so for any new proposal, we need an amendment in the existing system, right? So we need an amendment in the existing articles, which are Article 330A and 332A. So amendment means here we will be adding a new article. 330A deals with reservation of SC and ST in Lok Sabha. 332 means it includes reservation of seats for SC and ST in state legislative assemblies. So if we want to increase the number of women representatives, then we need to amend. Rather, we need to add a new article in the Article 330 in the form of 330A and 332B. Clear? Okay. Sorry. These two new provisions will introduce the changes for Lok Sabha and assemblies respectively. Clear? Now, the bill has a sunset clause. Sunset clause means what makes it exceptional. Okay. The exceptional clauses here, this will be only applicable after 15 years. That is the major problem. So why 15 years is the next question, right? Because we need delimitation. What do you mean by delimitation? Yes, we are redrawing the boundaries of the states. As of we know that we choose a representative for an existing constituency. States are divided according to into various constituencies based on the population. So after every census, there is a clause that after every census, there need to be a delimitation or change in the boundary of the states. Okay, even though that has not been done regularly, but there is a clause like that. Okay, so after delimitation only this change will happen. That is the reason why 15 years is the sunset clause. Clear? Now, the bill has a sunset clause mandating that the reservation will be for a period of 15 years from the date of commencement of the act. Every 15 years, this need to be changed. Okay. This bill makes the implementation of women's reservation contingent upon the delimitation process. Meaning the delimitation process and the women reservation will go hand in hand. Okay. Whenever the delimitation is needed or whenever the delimitation happens, the women reservation will need to be again reconsidered or re-amended. Okay. So now we will see what delimitation is. Then we'll be get back to this bill again. Okay. What is delimitation? Delimitation is the act of redrawing boundaries of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies to represent changes in the population. Clear? See, India is divided according to the states, right? Even every state is divided into constituencies. That is based on the recommendation of Delimitation Commission. Okay. The basis of delimitation is population. Okay. India has only done or have a delimitation 4 times. One in 1952. The second one was in 1962. The third one was in 1972. And the last one which we are following right now is of 2002. Okay. Even though after every census, delimitation is required, but delimitation commission has been constituted only 4 times: 1952, 62, 72, and 2002. We are currently following this one. Okay. So the process of redrawing boundaries of Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies to represent changes in the population is what the meaning of delimitation is. Okay. The main task of delimitation commission is to draw boundaries to various constituencies based on recent census. Census happens every 10 years. Even though census is happening every 10 years, but the delimitation commission has been constituted only 4 times till now. Okay. Now, in the process, the number of seats allocated to the seats in the Lok Sabha or in the Legislative Assembly may also change. Why it will change? Why it will change? Population. Because the population change is different. Population change is not uniform, right? Even within a state or between states, the population is different. If we consider or compare the population of South India and North India, which will be having lesser population? South, because more family planning measures and population control measures are taken or initiated by the South India. Okay, so that is why the population, when delimitation commission considers population, this becomes an issue as well. Because based on population, the seats they will be getting is high compared to the South Indian states. Clear? Now, the main objective of delimitation is to provide equal representation to equal segments of population. Here, not the state or state is considered. Here, mainly population is given importance. Okay, based on the population only, the seats are divided. Means every population should get equal representation. Clear? For instance, 1971 Assam population was 1.46 crores, but in 2001 it increased to 2.66 crores. Clear? Now, the population does not grow uniformly across all areas of the state. Hence, delimitation of constituencies is periodically carried out to reflect not only an increase in population, but changes in its distribution as well. Clear with this? Any doubt? No. Okay. We have discussed this thing. Now, delimitation commission. Article 82 of the Constitution is responsible for or enacts the Parliament to constitute a delimitation commission. Okay. Another article is there, Article 170. Article 170, which is responsible for dividing the states according to constituencies based on population. Okay. Article 82 gives the Parliament the power to make a delimitation commission, and according to Article 170, the states are divided into various constituencies. Okay. Now, the delimitation is carried out by an independent delimitation commission. Who appoints delimitation commission? President. Okay. The delimitation is carried out by an independent delimitation commission appointed by the Government of India under provisions of Delimitation Commission Act. But the majorly Government of India means President. Okay. Delimitation Commission is appointed by the President of India and works in collaboration with the Election Commission of India. Why Election Commission of India? Constituency. Election Commission of India will be having the adequate data regarding the constituent polls or voters in the area. Okay. Now, the delimitation components or composition of delimitation commission. It includes a retired Supreme Court judge, Chief Election Commissioner of India, and representative state election commissioners. Clear? Okay. Now, delimitation commission is as such an independent body. It should not be working according to any influence of executive or government. Why? See, if in a population, if the delimitation commission, what does it do? It divides the states into constituencies based on population. If an area, if they divide according to the caste system, or based on the caste majority in an area or religious majority in an area, will it work according to the principles of the Constitution, ensuring justice, equality? No, right? So it just divides based on the number of population, not based on any other criteria. Clear? Okay. The Constitution mandates that the Commission's orders are final and cannot be questioned before the court. This is important. No judicial review. That is, the final decision of the Delimitation Commission cannot be questioned in the court. Okay? Clear? Now we are getting back to the delimitation. To the bill again. Okay? About the bill. The new provisions will introduce the changes for Lok Sabha and assemblies respectively. We have said that, right? The bill has a sunset clause. About this also we discussed it for 15 years. And with every delimitation, the bill should also be reconsidered, right? Now, the bill makes the implementation of women's representation coinciding with the delimitation process. Now, in 2029, there will be elections, and before that, the meaning of this is the Delimitation Commission constituents is the 15 years clause, right? This is the meaning of this line. Means there is a sunset clause of 15 years and it should be reconsidered after the 15 years. Okay. 42nd Amendment froze the delimitation exercise until the results of first census after 2000 was published. In 2001, this was further extended for 25 years. Okay. Why this? 2002 was our last delimitation commission. After that, no delimitation has been done. So by in 2001, this was frozen for 25 years. After that only the next delimitation commission will happen. That is why this 2029 general elections is important. When will the next thing? And now delimitation would happen after the results of the first census after 2026 is published. No doubt, right? Okay. Now this is just a thing you just read it. This is only the thing is 2011 was the last census, and 2002 we had a delimitation commission done, and from that we have frozen it for 25 years. Like for 25 years this will be the data or state right now, okay, of the population, and we have this much constituencies. Now what we are doing is after 25 years, meaning 2029 election will mark for next delimitation commission, and in that it will be like women representation will also be considered for that election. Clear? Do you want me to reduce the pace? Because 25 years won't be happening. 2022 was the Delimitation Commission, 25 years. 2027, right? Then election will be coming only after 2 years. That is 2029. Clear? Okay. Now, identification of reserved seats. The bill states that 1/3 of the seat in the legislative assemblies will be reserved for women. Okay. However, it doesn't specify how the seats will be identified. It is in the discretion of the government. It will be granting the government the power to enact a law for its implementation. Hence, it is expected that determination of seats will be addressed by a separate law that the government will introduce. Yeah. It just proposed that there is a need for 1/3 of the reservation of women, but it didn't specify any law for that. Okay, the government will have the power to make any law. So there will be a new law for that. Okay. So till now we have discussed about the delimitation and what is the bill, basis of the bill, right? Okay. How are seats reserved for SC and ST decided currently? What is the need of it? Because in the bill there we says that when the SC and SC seats are considered for women reservation. Okay. Now, how SC and SC seats are determined currently? The Delimitation Act of 2002 lays down the broad principles for reserving the seats. Okay. The Delimitation Commission appointed under the Act is responsible for deciding the number of parliamentary and assembly seats. Constituencies in which seats are reserved for the scheduled caste shall be distributed in different parts of the states and located as far as practicable in those areas where the proportion of their population is total to the comparatively large. This means that if in an area the SC population is high or the ST population is high compared to the general majority, okay, if it is a tribal majority area or a scheduled caste majority area, then that area will be given representation as a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe reservation seat area. Clear? As I said before, population is the only constituency here. But why we are giving SC/ST reservation? To give them affirmations, meaning to empower them. Okay. We have heard about historical injustice, right? Because they are not represented before. They are in the socially, they are in need of social upliftment. Okay. That is why we are giving them affirmations or reservations in the form of reservations in the majorly representation, political representation as well. Okay. So similarly, the scheduled tribes area also, their population, proportion to their population, we are giving them representation. Clear? In an area, in a constituency, when the scheduled caste or scheduled tribe population is high, proportionally high compared to the other majority, then we'll be giving reservation for them in that constituency. Clear? And the person participating or the representative participating for the seat should be a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe in that area. That is mandatory. Okay. We have discussed delimitation as well. What are the constitutional changes which we need to make if we want to introduce the bill? As I said before, Article 82 empowers the Parliament to appoint a delimitation. Okay. Delimitation is appointed on the basis of Article 82. Article 170 gives the power, or Article 170 is responsible for dividing the state into constituencies. Okay. So for delimitation, Articles 82 and 173 of the Constitution would have to be amended. Article 82 provides for the readjustment of constituencies of Lok Sabha and state assemblies for every census. 170 for legislative. Clear? Okay. So in the bill, the majorly we talked was about state legislative assembly and Lok Sabha. We need to bring 1/3 of the reservation or 33% of the seats in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. But is it that two areas where only elections are happening in case of government? Local bodies. Local bodies also elections are taking place. Local bodies also representatives are done. We are mainly administered in the grassroots level by the panchayats and municipalities. But in the bill, it is not mentioned anything. Why? Independent to state order. Okay. Okay. 78 and 79th amendment of the Constitution was 77 and 78th amendment of the Constitution was responsible for the introduction of local self-government. Okay. In that only we have introduced many articles like 243D, etc., which explicitly mentions that there should be reservation of 1/3 reservation of women in the category. Okay. Already it has been mentioned. That is the reason why nearly in 18 states, we have at least 50% majority of women representatives. Okay. Meaning in the local government or the grassroots level, women representation is high, but it is not happening in the major areas. Okay. That is the reason why this bill has been introduced and it has been discussed very frequently. Okay. After so many debates, this has been introduced. So many years, debate has been taking place as well. Okay. So next we will look into the reservation in local self-government. Article 243D of the Constitution provides for reservation of seats for state legislative, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and women in the panchayats. Okay. There is only one article, 243, and 243 is divided into various parts to address the things in the local self-government. Okay, there is only 243. The 243 is divided into various parts to address various forms in the local self-government. Okay. Now, 243D deals with the women representation in panchayats. Okay. It provide the legislature of the state can make any provision for reservation of seats in any panchayat or offices of the chairpersons in the panchayat at any level in favor of backward classes of the citizens. Not even in case of women, it also empowers the state legislative assembly to reserve seats in case of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and other backward classes as well. Okay. As per the provision, not less than 1/3 of total number of seats reserved for SC and ST shall be reserved for women. Clear? So women representation is already introduced or already been addressed at the grassroots level. That is why we are not talking about it in the bill. Okay. At least 18 states, percentage of women elected representatives in Panchayat Raj institutions was more than 50%. Okay. The highest proportion of women representatives were in Uttarakhand and the lowest was in Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Regarding the political representation, we can see that in the local self-government region, that is in the grassroots level, women are more represented. But there are problems as well. Okay, because in the grassroots level, majorly we see representation of women as a leader itself, but not in function. Okay, a best example to this is Sarpanchpati. Have you heard of that? Sarpanchpati. Okay, means the actual representative of the people will be women, but the actual person who is carried out the function will be her husband. Okay, because patriarchy is one of the most important characteristic of Indian society. Okay, that is the problem related to it. You'll be studying this in majorly in parliament. Okay, in polity, you have a chapter on 70 local self-government, panchayat and municipalities. You'll be studying this. Okay, so we have what we discussed was regarding the women reservation. Okay, there was a bill introduced in the parliament regarding the women reservation in Lok Sabha and state legislative assembly. Okay, it introduced 123rd bill in the Lok Sabha. Cabinet has already passed. Now it has been introduced into the Lok Sabha. Okay, what was the bill is about? Bill was about giving reservation of women in the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. What was the problem in it? There was a sunset clause which says that after 15 years, when the delimitation happens, this need to be reconsidered. Okay, what we need to do in the constitution? We need to add another 2 articles, including 82 and 170 is already there. 330 and 330A and 332A. Okay, in the article, if we need to bring this change. Okay, then we talked about delimitation. What is delimitation? Redrawing of boundaries according to population. Okay. Okay. Delimitation, how many times delimitation commission has been constituted? 4 times, in 52, 62, 72, and the last one was in 2002. Okay. So 2002 is important because in 2001, we have frozen it and we have extended the delimitation commission till 2027, 25 years. Okay, that is why in the 2029 it becomes important. Then delimitation commission is appointed by president in the Lok Sabha, Article 82, and in the in the state legislative assembly, constituencies are divided according to Article 170. Okay. Now we are not addressing regarding the local self-government in the bill because already it has been discussed that 1/3 of the reservation should be given to the women in case of SC/ST seats, and also it also empowers the state legislative assembly for giving representation to other backward classes women as well. Okay, then in that matter, we can say that nearly 50% of in nearly 18 states, 50% and above are represented by women. Okay, clear with this? We are not discussing the provisions of the bill because when it becomes act, we'll be studying it. Okay, it is not acted. That is why we are not discussing the provisions of bill in detail.